This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Racial consultant standing by. Profile This is on the way. Caller 9-844-999. Ola will play Profile This coming up in minutes. And we have your headlines on the way 1 hour from now. First, quick check into Mike Hawk for some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, an Oregon state representative who helped get a distracted driving law on the books just got a ticket for, guess what?
Distracted driving.
Distracted driving.
Of course he did.
Apparently anybody can do it.
And many people do.
Mm-hmm.
People sit there at the goddamn green light. Let the light turn green, man, go!
That's really the worst one.
Especially if it's a left turning lane. There are certain intersections in the city where it's like, look, man, you have about a 4-second window to make this left turn before you have to sit through a 3-minute light cycle. I have one in mind, and there was a guy over the weekend, and I'm like 15 cars back, and this dude clearly is staring down at his phone. I was about to lose my goddamn mind, and when he realizes he has a green arrow, he guns it, and the freaking thing turns yellow, and the rest of us had to wait again.
I've seen certain driving service cars just stop in the middle of the road. They just stop. Just stop, like in the middle of a road. It's 35 miles an hour. They have just stopped. They didn't pull over. They didn't turn. They just stopped. So in my neighborhood, the biggest problem is no one's going anywhere.
Right.
People are just driving around with nowhere to go. So if you don't have anywhere to go, just pull over for a minute and park your car until you have somewhere to go. Then you don't have to be driving around whipping U's in front of people and acting like you don't know where you're going because you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
That would really help.
Yeah.
I mean, my God,
Mike's got your back.
Lights should be flashing yellows.
Scooter living has gotten dangerous based on one thing and one thing only, and that's it. I'm telling you, man. I'm almost died like 4 times in the last year because of one company and one company only, and I will not name said company. But I'm telling you,
they're trying to kill people.
They are trying to kill people.
I won't name who it is, but they're trying to kill people.
They're trying to kill people.
But the murderers.
So look out, everybody.
I'm telling you, man.
There's a company out there. Moving on.
Trust me.
The director of the World Bird Sanctuary, who you'd expect to be a totally peaceful and harmless person, has resigned after being charged with flashing his junk at people next to a Red Box dispenser in Missouri.
Wait, the guy in charge of the
World Bird Sanctuary.
And he's showing his penis to people.
Yeah.
What, I mean,
let the bird free.
Yeah. You want to see my bald eagle?
Yeah.
I used to work with a guy named the Bird.
Well, that's like stupid, kind of funny, and he should be arrested for it.
He flipped in the bird.
Why did he have to resign for it?
Why do you have to resign? Well, look, man, if you're a bird person, you're like, hey, he does not represent us. No. I don't show my penis to people.
I mean, we've just kind of gotten into that cycle to where if somebody does something stupid, wrong, they automatically have to lose their job, their career, their livelihood.
Well, look, the companies just don't want anything to do with it. You know what I mean?
He's worked
his ass off. He resigned.
Want to see my woodpecker?
That's right.
Boycott. A woman in Montana called the police to do a, quote, welfare check on her ex because he'd sent her a link to a sad Johnny Cash song on YouTube.
Oh, he was drunk, honey. Next comes Towns Van Zandt.
He sent me a video of Hurt, and I just want to make sure he's okay.
Now he's just trying to tell you that he's hurt.
What is hard to understand about that? It's called Hurt.
And maybe he just needs to let it go. I don't know, maybe you said something to him that he didn't quite like. Maybe you did something to him that he was just not a fan of. And maybe you don't need to take it personally and just let it go, man.
Who was this again that he sent it to?
No, he sent it to his ex.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Yeah, I mean, there's no mystery here.
Sometimes people do things and you don't like them, but it's nothing against you. It's just what it is, man.
I assume they showed up and he was just crying or whatever.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I'm glad the cops are here. Let's make this bigger than it needs to be.
Yeah. Where's he at again?
He's in Montana.
He might have trouble finding another date. That's probably the problem.
You think?
Yeah.
There's a lot of ground in Montana, man.
There is a lot of ground and nothing else.
Yes. Lots of ground.
Lots of ground. If you like having sex with the ground, you are good to go.
A lot of rocks to check under.
You want to date the ground, you're in.
Mm-hmm. A new study found Southern California has the worst commutes in the country.
Well, no kidding.
And they're kind of famous for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been well established that, Southern California has SE traffic.
Is that all of Southern California or just like L.A. and Orange County?
It's got to just be the biggest city.
Predominantly L.A., but I mean, it's a car culture there, so you can't walk anywhere, so it's nothing but driving.
But on that same point, shouldn't you just assume that whatever big city that you're going to, the commute is going to be terrible?
Yes!
It just depends on the city.
Does
but
it?
if it's a big city, guess
Well,
what?
here's the
In
thing.
the States, you're going to have a lot of
Here's
traffic.
the thing. If I live in Chicago, I can take the train in. If I live in a major city...
But
then
traffic still sucks.
Traffic still
You
sucks.
can't- Look, in New York City is one of the best subways on earth, right? The traffic is still abysmal there.
But the problem is, you don't expect to drive into New York City. You expect to take public transportation. In L.A., you don't have a choice. You
No.
have to drive.
Right.
So there's no other way around, and that's the difference, man. Like, everybody's on the road. The few people you see on the bus, maybe that's a couple hundred people, whatever, that's 200 cars on the road in L.A.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the entire city was designed with that in mind.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
yeah,
designed
totally.
specifically for people to own a car.
Nope, that's it.
Build public transit. Get over your stigma of public transit. It's safe. It's fun. It's cheap.
It depends. Listen, man, coming from Baltimore, it's not safe or fun.
Well, then carry a gun.
It's cheap, but it is not safe or fun. That is for sure. We call it the rolling prisons.
I rather enjoy my bus rides to work.
Yes.
And LA is just, it shouldn't all be just considered one city.
No, even people in LA are like, look, dude, it's like 87 different cities.
Yeah, they have like
kinda
three
stitched
major
together.
airports in one city.
Right.
Yeah.
Do they really?
Well, they have LAX, they have John Wayne, which is weird, but
Dang.
Yeah, seriously, dude. I mean, LA is like a group of cities that are together.
I
They
think
just call
Long-
it LA.
collectively-
I think
they call
Long
it Los
Beach has an airport too.
Think so.
I think
Yeah.
Long Beach, John Wayne, LAX. I mean, hell, there's three. There's probably a couple more we don't know about, but
Dang. Men with curved junk have a higher risk of cancer.
huh?
I don't have to look at my junk tonight.
I don't know what's going on with me. I feel terrible, Hillary.
Make an examination there. What does the curved junk have to do with it?
I don't know, man. Maybe it's just a sign.
Maybe you should call a doctor.
Penis is taking a left turn to cancer.
Is okay? I was thinking.
Does it say how much of a curve?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It just says curved junk.
My buddy got tongue cancer due to cunnilingus. I got cancer through my curved junk.
It's from a buildup of scar tissue. I read about it.
Do you know Michael
A
Douglas?
buildup of scar tissue.
I was working on it, Mike. Yeah.
What's being scarred?
You know what? I did not look into all that. I just read part of the article, and it said it's something to do with scar tissue.
Oh
Is
my
it just
heavens.
left or right, or can it curve up a little
You
bit?
could use it as a shoehorn.
All of it.
all of it.
Like a
curve.
permanent curve. If it's at a permanent curve, you could have an issue. You might want to get it checked out. And I know since you're guys, you will have that checked out.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
does anyone's curve down? You always hear left, right, up, but like, does anyone's penis actually curved down?
That sounds sad.
You know what I mean? Like, I've just never heard that. And guys will tell you, like, oh, left, right, or up, sure, but I've never, man,
That Gonzo D.
my penis curve, Gonzo D, yeah. Looking like a Muppet.
Oh, damn, Ted, that's nasty.
Hey,
Get a diet blue on Halloween.
Glue some eyes above it.
Hold on, honey, I gotta blow my nose. Damn. All right, and finally, nature marks up a kill against a hunter. I'll tell you what happened 1 hour from now.
Thank you, Mike Hawk. Headlines are coming up 1 hour from now, but first, the game is
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
Stephen Throwhill, can you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Tiffany. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola. All right, Tiffany, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes.
Fantastic. Here is your story. A 39-year-old guy in Titusville, Florida. He walked into a Sprint store last Saturday, grabbed a woman's purse, and then fled out of the back door. But here's the twist. The purse belonged to his wife. Apparently, they've been having issues, and she filed for divorce earlier this month. She hadn't seen or heard from him in a week. Then he showed up while she was working, snagged her purse, and she chased after him. She managed to catch up with him after he tripped over a concrete slab. Then he grabbed her arm and shoved her to the ground, but someone else ran over to help, so he dropped the bag and took off. Now, we assume he wanted money, but it's not clear. Cops tracked him down later that day, mostly because she knew exactly who the hell he was. He's facing charges for robbery and domestic battery. The question is, do you believe that this purse snatcher is black, white, Mexi, or Jew?
I don't know. You guys have any ideas?
Oh, man.
it was his ex-girlfriend's purse.
It's his not quite ex-wife's purse. She filed for divorce only a week ago, all right, or a week before that. She had not seen him in a week. He shows up at her, she works at Sprint, so he shows up at the store, grabs her purse, and takes off out the back door. So they're still married, but they're in the process of getting a divorce.
And I don't know if that leads anyway, except incredibly stupid.
That for sure.
Where was this?
In Titusville, Florida.
Something just tell me white.
Well, Christopher
Yeah,
Titus
I
is a
think
white
white
man.
too.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's kind of leaning that way.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like there should be something else there.
I mean, that's it. That's the whole thing. Again, let's see. Yeah, that was it. Keep in mind, he when he ran away, he tripped over a concrete slab. That's how she caught him. He still wanted to fight her there, but someone came over to help, and that's when he took off running, which is stupid because, again, your wife can probably tell the cops very easily where to find you, right?
If your wife can catch you.
Well, remember, he tripped.
He did trip, but
He
she
did
still
trip.
caught him, and she still was running after him and caught up with him.
Did they say, like, I know you just said concrete slab, like
Yeah.
one of those parking ones or like a Jersey wall?
I don't know, man. To me, I was picturing like a raised sidewalk or something, but I have no idea. It just
I
says a
think the
concrete
fact that
slab.
she was able to run, and even if he tripped, if I trip, I'm just going to bounce right back up, keep on running.
Sure.
The fact that she was
Especially
able
if
to,
I've stolen something.
the fact that she was able to catch up with him, I think that guy's white.
Because he's too
Yeah,
slow?
me too.
Yeah, just like you can't run, you're tripping over your feet, you're stealing a purse, like you know
That's
what I mean?
the
Like,
reason why.
look, man, if my ex-wife was black and I tried to steal her purse, she would beat my ass.
Number one, sure.
That would not be an option for me, even if I wanted to take it. I'm saying this guy is white. He couldn't even run away from his wife.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted to. I'd feel more confident calling him white if I knew the height of the thing he tripped on. Because if it's just like a little parking thing and he tripped on it, that could be anybody. If he tried to hurdle like a Jersey wall and missed, I was leaning white.
Okay. All right. You're going to stick with the white final answer.
Yes.
All right, we're going to find out if this purse thief was black, white, Mexi, or Jewish next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitches. You're listening to the Men's Room.
All right, profile this crazy ex. And he goes to his ex-wife's place of work, and he just basically runs in there and grabs her purse from behind the counter, runs out. And then he trips over a concrete barrier, and she ends up catching up with him. He drops the purse, takes off running. Obviously, it was easy for the police to apprehend him in his home because, well, she knew exactly who it was and where to find him, so it wasn't that big of a deal as far as him being caught.
But Tiffany, we asked you, did you believe that this guy was black, white, Mexican, Jew? And your first instinct was white, and you stuck with it through the whole thing. Ted agreed with you, but Ted agreed with you based on the idea that he was so slow that his wife caught up, and the fact that he may or may not have tripped trying to hurdle a cement barrier. Mm-hmm. But either way, white was your answer. Congratulations. Your racist badge is in the mail.
Congratulations! You win nothing! All right, now for all the TV news all the time, time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box,
Armageddon.
the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
So I think it was probably like a year or two ago, we talked about here, during this very segment, about Conan O'Brien, and they were going to try to put him out of the studio more because they thought the best work he did was out and about.
Yeah, and a lot of people have copied him.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I'm not taking anything away from James Corden. He does a totally different thing. He gets in a car with people and he sings. All right. Jerry Seinfeld says, well, let's have coffee. Conan started the whole thing basically with becoming Lyft drivers, Uber drivers. He was doing all these different things way before any of that started. And he would just basically go around and drive with celebrities. And it was funny stuff.
Right. Ice Cube, Kevin Hart was a famous one.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, I got a hair in my mouth.
My
What
bad.
were you doing?
My bad, man. I tried to trim up.
I got a beard. It's a common thing. Sometimes, though, you just don't know if it's like just one from the side. That one was like, oh, that's a strange, real hair.
You think it came from the mustache, from the top or the bottom?
Definitely the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, he's got the mustache up top based on where you said the hair was.
All right. I didn't know.
Yeah, that's what I meant, man.
Okay. I didn't think it fall off the top of his head.
No, I meant,
No, I don't have hair on my head.
his lips are where most people's lips are, and there's hair surrounding it.
You know, I'm bald, and somebody actually said to me today, like, it's cold out there, you better start growing your hair in. I was like, I'll let that go. But
That's not how it works, man.
I think that was my exact answer. Like, that's not how it works. And you're right, Miles. Everybody kind of copies the same stuff. But you're right. Conan, I will say, like, Jimmy Kimmel was just in, Brooklyn? But Kimmel, like, the people at TBS came out and said, hey, we're going to make a concerted effort to get Conan out of the studio. He does better there. Conan is a pasty white man. So where would you send him? Harlem.
Ireland. Harlem. Of course. Harlem. Okay.
Now, Harlem, from what I have heard...
6'5", redheaded, pasty guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool, man. He's doing shows at the Apollo Theater. I don't know how you wouldn't know, but the Apollo Theater, very famous theater in Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
Broke a lot of black comedy, music, this and that.
Everything.
There's a stump you should rub for good
Yes.
luck. You just don't want to see the Sandman. Anyhow, so he's doing a show at the Apollo Theater. He went over to a famous shop to meet a man named Dapper Dan, and Dapper Dan's going to kind of make him look a little cooler and this and that. But Conan got to pick the first few outfits, and Dapper Dan's not too pleased.
Hey, Dap.
Yeah.
I found something.
Oh, great.
Give me an honest opinion.
Is this a Pee Wee Herman special we getting ready to do or what?
Pee Wee Herman, look at this. This spoke to me. I saw this hanging.
No, it didn't spoke to you. It cursed at you.
Who's laughing? You think this is funny?
No, sir.
You're laughing at
Remember, we're going to Swagville.
Mm-hmm.
This is not Swagville.
Does anyone know what neighborhood this is? Where would I go? Wait.
Soho.
Got the moves in this? You like the spin? I got him with the spin. Look at that. Look at that. I got the spin.
Yeah. The spin might work if you can just keep doing it so they don't see what's going on.
Conan is in some very tight clothes.
Give me a minute to try this on my own. Okay.
Wag.
You like plaid? Plaid.
No, you look fabulous to me.
Coming up to New York to be a pimp or something?
You think I look like a pimp?
Yeah. No, it look like somebody trying to be a pimp.
Wait, I don't even look like a pimp. I look like a guy who's trying to be a pimp.
Exactly.
It's called unemployed pimp.
I'm an unemployed pimp. Thanks for the help. Thank you, Coach. Yeah, okay.
Wag.
Dap, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, so obviously it's a longer segment. Dapper Dan does do a good job of cleaning them up. You can watch the video at the Men's Room Facebook page. But it's just funny because he kind of picks out his first few outfits, and then even to the point he's like, I'm going to go out on the street. I think people will like it. And they're just like, no.
Don't do that.
Don't do what are you doing? Right? Well, and he does by the end of it. He looks cool, and he's in a nice suit and everything, and Dapper Dan hooks him up. But I think everybody has their limitations.
Sure.
So you could go into any shop you want to, but there's certain things you just can't pull off.
Right,
Right?
it's
Like
just not going to work.
Like Miles always talks about Thriller wear paisley. Miles like, I ain't wearing paisley.
Somehow it wouldn't work out.
No, it's just I can't pull it off.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I can pull it off. I just like it.
Yeah. I mean, some of that's the same thing too, right? Like,
if you feel good in your clothes, it doesn't mean you look good, but you don't feel bad about what you're wearing, right?
Right. Whereas Conan, number one, is doing it for laugh effect, but number two is, again, he's a very tall, pasty white dude.
Yeah.
With just the worst color combination sitting on a street in Harlem. Like,
Sure.
I don't know how confident he felt in that game.
I believe they call that mugger bait.
Yeah. I don't know anymore, though, man. Sounds like Harlem. It sounds like the whole city's changed.
Well, sure. But still.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Let's see. We were talking a little bit after the World Series about Carlos Correa. They win the World Series. Remember, he asked his girlfriend to marry him.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it seemed a little selfish. The whole team was having a moment, and he kind of took it over with that. I'm kidding a little bit. But he was on with Jimmy Kimmel and talked about just basically like hitting a home run and kind of blacking out.
People were talking about the celebrations and the fist bump and everything. I'm like, I don't remember any of that. Like, I completely blacked out.
Do you remember getting engaged? Because this could be a problem.
That could be a problem with my fiance if I don't remember.
I like that, too. Later in the interview, they asked him when the wedding was or whatever, and he was like, I told her we got to wait till we win another World Series. So if it's 10 years from now, it's 10 years from now. And she was just kind of looking, and he was like, I'm kidding. And Jimmy Kimmel's like, you don't have to say that to me. Like, say it to her.
Right. Jesus.
Yeah. In 10 years. Is there a limit on how long you can stretch out an engagement?
No. I've met people, like, they were engaged for, like, 23 years.
And then they got married?
I don't even know, because I have not been in contact with them in a couple of years, but it was just, like, they both had rings, right? And they knew they were engaged. They'd been together forever, and they're kind of like, there's no reason for it. We have kids, we have a house. They're like, there's just no need, because we're just getting the government involved in our relationship. And they're like, we're pretty solid.
And that's kind of like a unicorn. You know, when you meet I don't want to have kids. We don't need to get married.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a unicorn. We all know that.
Mm-hmm. It's a setup.
It's a setup.
Or they've already done it.
Right.
In that case, then yes. Still a setup.
I don't care about Valentine's Day. Setup.
Setup. I don't want children. Setup.
Setup.
I don't need to get married.
Setup.
Setup.
Yeah.
You're saying all the right things.
Right. If you say all the right things, I don't trust you.
It's a setup.
Right. You know, it's like it's the picture they use on the dating website. It's just not accurate. This is not an accurate representation of what you really, really mean.
Like your wife's going to come up to you or your to-be wife and say, like, Ted, we need to sign this agreement before we get married because I'd like to keep my stuff when we divorce.
All right.
Setup.
Right.
That seems like a good one.
Right.
But somehow
it's a unicorn.
setup.
It's a magical unicorn. It's never going to be there. It's a story that someone told and wrote in Penthouse.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. It's a Penthouse letter.
I have talked to a woman before that was a little bit younger than I was. She was only like 24. Like, I'm against marriage. I'm against kids and this and that. And I was like,
just shut up.
I feel like Larry Dave.
I don't know.
Let's give it a couple years.
Normally, though, when you do run into that couple, the magical unicorn couple, where they've been together for 10, 15 years, never got married, and they've been together their entire lives, it's normally something very practical that makes them get married, like
insurance.
Medical insurance, whatever the deal is.
We know someone.
It's
They've
never
been with the woman, I want to say, for 16 years. Like, they started dating as 16-year-olds, all right? They had been together the entire time. They were in their mid-30s, and they finally got hitched, and honest to God, it came down to insurance. They're like, look, we're fine with each other. We don't need all the nonsense, but we're going to Vegas, let's get married, and now the insurance is taken care of.
Yeah,
that was legitimately why they got married. They love each other. I mean, they've been together forever, right? But they're like, the marriage thing, who cares?
I just want to do it for the party.
It's a hell of a party.
Yeah, you could throw that party without getting married.
Ah, but you're wrong.
Why?
Because people won't show up.
See?
That's the thing. Like, people, if it's a wedding, they expect you to show up.
Right.
But if I just said, hey, I'm having this crazy party, I really want everybody to go, they're like, they wouldn't show up.
Yeah.
It's not a wedding.
They're not getting on a plane to go.
Right,
Could you tell them it's a wedding where no one gets married? Which would be great.
Tell them it's a reception. Like, look, there's no wedding, but there's going to be the reception because, frankly, weddings are boring and they're all the same. Right?
And here's what you say. You say, and Steve's right, you say, look, it's just going to be a small thing with family, and then I'm going to have a giant reception, and I'd love to see you there. And then when they said, well, you said, well, I just told you I'd have a small thing with my family. We just we rolled the roller coaster, and then we came here.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell them what you really did.
Oh, instead of saying there was no wedding?
Yeah, just say, like, we're having
we did it at the courthouse, but we're having a reception, right?
It feels like a sad way to start this party.
You paid a parking ticket at the courthouse, and then you ended up at the reception, and then it just got thrown down.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish I could invite people for a kick-ass party.
Right.
Like, come on out and feel like you have to.
Dress up, too.
Right,
Yeah.
and feel like you have to.
Yeah.
Feel obligated
I got a DJ.
to do this.
Right? Like, feel obligated.
I sent you the invite. Feel obligated.
Basically,
to
just ask them what choice of dinner they want, and then they're kind of like,
man, I'm going to have chicken, salmon.
Mark the thing off that you want, and then send the card back.
You
I'm telling you,
guessed.
you go through the formatics of that. I'm telling you, I think you're going to get a bigger turnout than you think.
Chicken.
Or the fish.
Whatever,
beef, yeah.
Wild card, though, it's fried chicken and fish and chips.
Oh, yeah, man.
Actually, when I was a kid, I always said,
is there a vegetarian option?
There is.
Yeah, go somewhere else.
You go to a vegetarian place.
Yeah, go to a vegetarian restaurant.
That's your option.
Yeah, there's brown rice over there. Have at it.
Mm-hmm.
With pork fried broccoli.
My mom tells a story when I was a kid. I guess I told her like I was going to get married and have it catered by McDonald's.
Why not?
Yeah.
Right?
That would be awesome.
But everybody's still dressed up. People just walking around with soy sauce.
Yeah.
Or sweet and sour sauce. All right, Miles, you were talking about people sometimes wait to eat dinner till they find something on TV they want to watch. Do you guys think there's too many shows on TV?
There's too many good shows.
There's just
on
too many
TV.
channels.
I think there's too many you need to watch shows on right now, which is not a bad thing if you enjoy watching television because there's a lot of good programming
but
out there.
with DVRs and on demand, it's kind of okay. Because you don't have to watch it that night. You know, you can watch it later, you can watch it the next day, whatever it is. So I don't mind having a lot of shows to choose from that are actually good.
But I would guess, like we said this before, I don't think there's ever been a period in time where more must-see shows have been on at one time. That people enjoy, that people binge watch. And granted, you couldn't do it back in the day, but it's just the sheer number. It's not just regular TV anymore that's producing this. It's
Well, I think
Amazon,
The
it's
Sopranos
Netflix.
is really what set the whole thing
Yeah,
off.
without
HBO took the time to come up with an original series. It was groundbreaking in all those ways. And since The Sopranos, every frickin' cable network now, right? They're doing their best not to just give you schlock, but trying to come up with some quality TV.
Not just that, right? You got like Amazon, Facebook's going to start doing shows.
Netflix, right?
And you don't have to work around the parameters that you do on a traditional broadcast station. So when you don't have to work within those boundaries, you can come up with some pretty good programming.
So last year, new episodes of 455 different shows aired on cable, broadcast, or streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, Apple, and Amazon Prime.
Damn.
10 years ago, the number was half that. You're talking 192 different shows that aired.
So factually, there are more shows.
Mm-hmm.
Even crazier, they're saying we're on pace to have 500 by the end of this year.
Jesus. And do they give it a percentage of the shows that actually stick? You know, there's one thing to debut that many shows, but like anything, man, it's...
Well, it also depends on where you are, right? So if you're over on like Amazon Prime or Hulu or something and not as many people know about it, like you don't have to be the biggest show in the world. You just got to kind of be the biggest show in your little niche.
Right. Don't lose money, essentially.
Right. So I'm with you. I don't know that they're all super successful, but I think there's... I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think it's a win-win for everybody. Like you were saying, like there's more options.
Right.
So if you're bored, I will say this. I do have a theory, no matter how many channels you have, people like me will still flip through and go, ain't nothing on.
It's the equivalent of going to the grocery store, opening your refrigerator and saying, we got nothing to eat. You know what I mean? I do it all. Like I'm clicking through the channels. I'm like, actually, there's about 40 different shows that would have kept my interest, but somehow in that moment I decided, I'm going to keep looking.
Yeah. And I mean, I have whatever number of channels, but I probably only watch like 10.
Right.
So anyhow, so I'm saying this is a win-win, right? Because at any point you can go home, watch a new series, watch a new show. I get why people binge watch a lot of stuff,
of course,
so you can kind of knock it out. But also, this has got to be great for actors.
Sure,
actors, people working on shows,
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean the bigger, the bigger piece of
aside
the
from
pie.
the stories we're hearing, it's a good time for Hollywood.
Yeah. We'll hear more stories about more predators. Because there's more shows to be a predator on.
There you go.
Just try to keep it positive, man.
To catch a predator here in Hollywood.
Yeah.
We're not leaving the studios. We're going to stay right here.
We're on set.
And catch the director of the show.
That would be right. What's it, Chris Hansen?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Should go ahead and have a seat.
Exactly.
I'm the director. Nah, have a seat.
Yeah, seriously.
Man,
and it's everywhere. My kids watch a show. It's a cartoon. It's called Loud House. It's one of the few cartoons I can get through with them. It's mildly funny, pretty well done. The guy that created that show got brought up on some kind of sex charges.
No kidding.
And I'm just like, my God, man. You know what I mean? Like, my kids love the show. Obviously, they don't need to know about all that, but I'm just looking at it like, I'm watching, actually, they're watching it last night, or Sunday night. And I'm kind of watching it with them. And in my head, I'm just like, the guy that did this, like, I think he's in jail right now. Either it was with kids or something, but it was bad and it was sex related.
Damn.
I mean, talking kids, goddamn cartoons, man.
Loud House also sounds like a rap production company.
It does. Yes, Loud House Productions, y'all.
Loud House. All right, let's see. You guys like Tony Romo when he's doing his announcing thing?
So far, so much better than Phil Simms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he drinks a lot of tea. Now, you know what? I'm just going to play you Tony Romo's joke. See what you think about it.
Huh?
Peters doesn't want to tackle. That's one of the things I'm telling you. He's really good out there at the corner off coverage, but in tackling,
not his thing.
No, and he makes Deion Sanders look good at tackling sometimes.
All right. Now, I don't think that's that terrible of a shot at Deion Sanders.
No, and he's a notorious horrible tackler.
It's like talking about Jimmy Graham blocking.
Or Shaq at the free throw line. Like, right.
Come on.
Or catching.
We all know that it's,
No, right. So here's my deal. Deion Sanders, to me, is an elite athlete, an elite cornerback.
No question.
Right? Like, he shut down a whole side of the field. But I do think it's fair to, take shots at his tackling.
Yeah, he was notorious for that.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I don't think Tony Romo was going in too deep on him, but Deion Sanders heard about it, and he went deep in on Tony.
10 years as a starter, you're 2-4 in the playoffs. You ain't won nothing. I tried to bury the hatchet. Both of us work for CBS. I went and shook your hand and say, Tony, you're doing a great job this year. I thought that would be it. But nevertheless, you keep on shooting at me. Tony, what's going on, man? I got a gold jacket that I didn't buy. Dak says hi. And bye. Tony, leave me alone, man. I got a lot of ammunition, man. How many interceptions? 19 in 2012? Come on, man. You threw to everybody but me. Tony, come on, man. You know you never won the big one. So stop, man. Leave me alone. I tried to take the high road, but I don't know the address.
Difference is that it's a joking tone and not like Michael Irvin and,
Steve Smith?
Steve Smith. It might just
I'm
actually
beat your ass when I get
each other next time they see each other.
Yeah, I think the two of them will have fun with it.
Right. They're both cowboys. They both live in the same town. They both get it.
Yeah.
Dion can admit that he can tackle. Tony can admit that he threw 19 interceptions and only won 2 out of 4 playoff games. Those are just stats that are true.
They are. I mean,
you know what I mean? Like,
but Dion's funny.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dion's not coming at a point of like, he's like,
it's great, but I'm just saying, like, he kind of went in on him.
He did. I mean, it's like you could ease up at any time.
Right? Like, all right, Dion, down. We get it, man.
And save some of your ammo because you know Tony's going to make fun of you again at some later date. And you don't want to repeat insults. You know what I mean?
Well, plus it's just tough, right? Because for Tony Romo, I'm sure he can go anywhere in Dallas. And he's treated like Tony Romo.
Sure.
Right? But, like, Deion Sanders was at the Cowboys before you. He's kind of a folk legend wherever he went.
He won a Super Bowl with the team.
And he's been on TV longer than you have.
Did he win a World Series?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
he won a World Series.
Did he win a World Series?
Yeah, he's the only
he was
player.
in a World Series.
I want to say they won because
With the Braves? They lost so many of them.
Braves lost a ton.
Sorry, Braves fans.
No, it's true.
Dion's going to get on you now.
They're like the
Come on, Ted,
they're
man.
like the Buffalo Bills.
Bury the hatchet.
They're like the Buffalo Bills of baseball.
Yeah.
As far as
Except
losing championships.
Right, Atlanta just made it to a lot of World Series and stuff.
And blew it. Somebody had to be there.
They did, but they won one, which I think always kind of separated them from the...
I think that's the one Dion was on. I
don't
think
know.
so, but I'm not sure.
I just remember dumping that water all over Tim McCarver.
Thank you, Ted. There we go. TV Time with Tim. We've got your headlines on the way with Mike Hawk coming up in minutes. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. We head to Florida where a woman refuses to leave closing bars, so she hits a bouncer in the head with a 12-pack of Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. Meanwhile, a man tries to scare out wildlife for a hunting club and instead is killed by a deer. Hidden Valley blows people's minds. You can now order a keg of delicious ranch. It might shock some of you to know we actually work with a guy named Tanch. And a woman who sang karaoke on an airplane now says she was just napping in a stranger's lap, see? It's time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
All right, our top story. A rare accident occurred for a hunter in France. The man was part of a hunting party in a position that they call the beater. His job is to try to spook the animals out of their hiding spots and out into the open. Unfortunately, the stag that the man scared charged him and rammed an antler right through his chest.
Oh, damn.
65-year-old man died of his injuries before authorities arrived on the scene.
Why don't you just put him in a pen? And I'm sorry to say this, but honest to God, like, look, I'm going to pay, and I realize that in certain states there are properties that you go and you hunt on specifically. And these properties have hundreds and hundreds of acres, and you can go and you can hunt in a hunting club on private property. I understand how that works. I get it. However, if you are so bad at hunting that not only do you have to pay to go to a specific place that is stocked, which is in this case, this area was, stocked with animals, to the point where then you have to have someone else scare these animals out for you into the open so you can shoot them. It gets to the point, man, where it's just like, it's not hunting.
No.
Just buy like a deer if you want the meat or whatever, but I mean, like, you're not hunting. You're just going out and shooting stuff
that's
that's available.
shooting.
I mean,
right. But it's kind of target practice.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, if you want to go hunt. But I mean,
although if you've ever hunted pheasant, that's exactly what you have to do.
The idea of hunting is that it's a fair sport, not fair always, but it's more even for both participants.
You're hunting.
Yes, exactly.
That's the difference. I mean, hunting implies that you're going out there searching for something.
Right. If you don't do that,
it's not an Easter egg hunt.
It's not supposed to be easy. I know guys who will go out in West Virginia, man. They get up every single day for deer season. Some years not get a deer.
Yeah, I know a guy that's a bow hunter, and he'll be like, "Yeah, I shot 3 arrows the whole season."
Right.
Nothing.
Yeah, but that's
because he's hunting.
Because not only that, but he didn't have a clean shot a lot. So he's never going to take a bad shot, wound a deer without being able to take it down, and kill it humanely. So. Yeah, that's hunting.
So to you, it's basically throwing dynamite in the pond?
Yeah, pretty much.
You're calling it real fishing.
That's exactly what he's doing. It wasn't a pond, Mike. It was a public pool, and the lifeguard just got fired, so I didn't have to worry about it.
Damn it.
I kind of like that the deer won this one.
Well, sure.
Oh, he killed a guy.
How about
Go Stags.
Yeah, last Friday I was having dinner with Mike, and he's like, I have never heard anybody talk about a high school as much as you. So today I was like, go Stags. He's like, what? I was like, DeMatteis mascot. Big ass, mean deer.
That's right.
Well, that's the deer you want then.
Around the world.
And it's red.
All right, you guys remember that story a little while back of the strangers that got in trouble for oral relations during a flight?
That is correct.
Well, the man allegedly received the favors, saying that the woman had actually fallen asleep in his lap on the flight and that she wasn't doing what everyone else knew that she was doing.
With a mouthful of penis. That's the story. You're telling me she fell asleep with her mouth open.
Right. Here's the thing, is that it should be noted that the woman was described by witnesses as heavily intoxicated, and they used a blanket. So I have never heard in the case of somebody falling asleep, one, that far into somebody's lap in that cramped of a space, and two, the guy just, being a gentleman, lays a blanket over her head.
Yeah, so she can't breathe.
Well, maybe it was cold.
Sure.
It's cold on
that
the
vent
plane.
was on.
That's it. Yeah. He fell asleep.
That's why her head was moving a lot. She was having a nightmare.
She was dreaming that she was bobbing for apples.
Moving on. All right, good news for ranch lovers. You can now spend a hefty $65 to get yourself a Hidden Valley Ranch keg along with a year's supply of dressing.
Does anyone need a keg of salad dressing?
That's not a year's supply?
I mean, what is going on in your
guessing-
life that you need a keg of ranch dressing?
I love ranch dressing.
I do too, man.
The salad years.
This is ridiculous.
It really... The thing is that, yes, it's ridiculous, but the fact that they made it means that there is a demand for it.
I don't know that.
Somebody tried to make a ranch fountain.
All
which,
right.
to be honest, it would make the little veggie tray a little bit more fun.
Yeah, like a chocolate fountain?
Right. But...
Yeah, like, I'm down for this ranch fountain. Keep talking.
Yeah.
But they couldn't find enough ranch to do it. Or nobody could make a ranch fountain. So I guess they compromised by making a dadgum keg.
Come on. Who needs a keg of ranch dressing?
People do, apparently.
It just seems weird, like the texture of ranch coming out of a tap.
Yeah, it is kind of... Get yourself a spritz.
Yeah.
In Florida, a 20-year-old man was confronted by police after being identified as the man that started an incident at a local beach. He was upset at the newest visitor to the beach that he likes to frequent for surfing and began yelling at him to get out of the water. When an argument broke out between the two, the man threw a can of beer at the visitor's face, grabbed his own board, and ran into the water because he knew he'd get in trouble for throwing a beer at the man's face. Police tried to get the lifeguard to call the man onto shore so he could be arrested, but the man knew better and remained out in the water. They actually had to resort to getting his mother out on a megaphone to coax him in.
Damn,
That
man.
makes sense.
Billy, get your ass out of the water.
That kind of guy lives at home, and his mom's going to tell him what to do.
Yeah. He just surfs all day, all night.
And you're in my spot. I own the ocean.
I mean, really, dude? You own the ocean, huh?
I mean, that's big in Hawaii, though, right? On the North Shore?
This is Florida, too.
Well,
No. I'm just saying, like, it's not that unheard of in surfer circles to be very protective of.
Doesn't
like,
make it any less stupid, Ted.
if you're on
Like,
the...
I'm not a surfer. I'm just saying, like, it's not that insane. Like, this happens.
Right.
Like, if you go to the North Shore, like, there's certain parts, like, I'm pretty sure, like, you can't just roll up and jump in their water.
Well, it's the same as you can't go play a PGA Tour. That's Jaws. So if you're smart, you know what I mean? You're not going to go out there unless you're really, really good.
That's a good point.
I don't know. Okay. Moving on. An interesting case in Alabama. A man found his way onto death row stemming from a murder that he committed in 1985 when he snuck up behind a police officer responding to a domestic call and shot him in the back of the head.
Jesus Christ.
Since his incarceration, the man has suffered a number of strokes, and consequently, he can no longer remember the crime that he committed to get himself on death row in the first place. The Supreme Court, however, has ruled that the argument does not merit him being released, and they have okayed his execution.
So he's going to die, but doesn't know why.
Exactly.
He knows why. He just doesn't remember.
That's
Just because you don't remember it, bro, it's still not.
Right. I just found that fascinating, and it makes sense, but
Yeah.
that's it for headlines with that. Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time for the return of Who Sucks Less. The Word is back, and, of course, another round to profile this.
Yes, indeed. It is all true. We be all about this bitch for now, but we will be back tomorrow. So until then, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.